All right, we're here with Paul Kelly.
Hey,
How
Chris.
you doing?
I'm doing well.
So tell folks who you are, what you do.
Paul Kelly, I lead the utility solution product for AvidXchange. Been with the company for, my joke is, longer than AvidXchange has been
That's
around.
true.
So,
That's true.
As a result of coming over in the EnergySolve acquisition back in 2010.
But so how long have you kind of been in the business?
In the industry for over 35 years.
35 years.
I
That's
know.
amazing.
It's
So
a
you
whole
probably
other
know a lot of
lifetime.
stuff. Okay, so you're doing a session. And what's your session on?
It's called Don't Get Caught in the Dark, and it's really about the importance of tracking your utility invoices and understanding the information associated with those invoices, in particular the consumption, and using that to really validate the accuracy of those utility invoices, more so than just the cost.
All right, let's talk about accuracy.
Accuracy.
Why is accuracy important?
Well, I mean,
By the way, you'd think that the utility companies would kind of get this right.
more often than not, they apply the charges correctly to whatever the billing determinants are. But where we find errors more often is in the capturing of those billing determinants. So, for example, if the meter has a multiplier of 10 and they put it down as 100, well, you can see what happens, right? Or vice versa. So it's not usually in the actual data point, I mean in the calculation, but it's in the data points that are used to do the
That's
calculation. So when we look at the validity of an invoice, we really look at the consumption more so than the cost, because that's the constant throughout. Prices change, rates change, but if you're looking at a location and how it's performing compared to the history for that location, the consumption is kind of the common denominator, and what you're using, even on a per day basis, is really will kind of define what is reasonable and accurate. I mean, when you get a drop shipment, you know you got 30 things delivered, right? You count, there's 30, boom, approved.
Right.
It's not as simple with utilities.
Why is that?
Because there's a lot of complexity to the charges, and there's a relationship in particular with time periods. For example, you can have on-peak, off-peak, mid-peak, super on-peak. Then there's a KW component, which is a capacity. And then there's a relationship between the capacity, the KW, and the KWH. And certain usages, for example, and we'll highlight that in the presentation, are mathematically impossible. And if you don't do the simple calculation, you wouldn't necessarily know that.
You miss it.
And the bill might actually be dollar-wise lower than another bill, right? But it's still not correct.
Okay. Very confusing.
That's right.
So, and you've been doing this for a long time.
I have.
And and by the way, you've been doing this session for a couple years now.
On and off for a number of years, right? You know, depending upon what the kind of the focus has been. But the underlying thing that's been consistent is that Avid has a solution that really can do all this for you, right? We have a team of experts who basically live and breathe processing and paying utility bills. Exciting as that might sound to you, we can kind of, between our application that systematically does a lot of these validations and then kicks out exceptions for us to look at.
How many exceptions?
There's about 27 different validations that each invoice will go through. And anything related to cost, consumption, service period continuity, meter reading continuity, all of the data points that we have found historically lead to potential billing errors.
That's awesome. Not the errors, the fact that we catch them.
That's right.
Hey, that's Paul Kelly. If you want to learn more about how AvidXchange can impact in a very positive way your utility bills, your consumption, your data, all that stuff, visit us at AvidXchange.com.